Hold on, hold on. Sorry. Hold up. Okay, hold on, hold on. Let me just, you can hear me now. Let me get the mic ready first. Yeah, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. What up, what up, what up? Why? Oh, I muted it by accident. Hold on, let me take this off of mute. This shouldn't be allowed to be muted like this. What up, y'all? What up, what up? Everybody come on in here while I take this stupid thing off of mute. Why is there even a mute button? Hold on. Welcome, everybody. I'm in front of the Diddy Courthouse. Yo, live in front of the Diddy House, 500 Pearl Street. I got a banger show set up for you guys today. Hold on one second. As promised, Diddy will be sentenced tomorrow. You know what? Maybe I should just do this with this microphone. I feel like you guys prefer me when I do it with this microphone. Oh, there we go. Now I got it back. All right, hold up, hold up. Let me now turn this up. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Boom. All right, we are back. Somebody said free Diddy. Okay, are we back now with this microphone? Does this microphone sound good? 1, 2, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? All right, man, sorry for the technical difficulties. Are we good? Okay, what's up? Okay, we're back now. Okay, guys, I have a banger show ready for you guys. I'm going to just go quickly and say what's up to everybody, give everybody a little shout outs that they're here. Natasha's here, what up? Joyce is here, Sonia's here, Christina's here, hi. Audrey, I know you guys saying you can't hear me, but Kim is here, Fusion is here, Patrice Davis is here, Sean is here, Sonia's here, Regina is here. What up, what up, what up, what up? All right, thank you guys for joining. I'm going to get to the chat. I have a banger show. Just give me a thumbs up. Make sure that you guys can hear me loud and clear, even with this mic on here. You guys can hear me, right? Give me a thumbs up, please. Yes, Auntie from Atlanta. Yes, hi. Martiza, yes. Hi, Trent. Yes, you can hear me. Somebody give me a thumbs up. Yes? Okay, good. We are good. Perfect. Do you guys prefer this mic or do you prefer without the mic? Let me know. Anyways, yeah, thumbs up. All right, okay, perfect. Loud and clear. Bam, 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 bam. All right, y'all. All right, let's start the show. In front of the Diddy Courthouse, we've officially called it the Diddy Courthouse. I have been here since 9 a.m., 9:15 to be exact. Y'all know I've been inside, getting some ins and outs, getting some kind of like inside scoop information for you guys. I have a lot of things I want to cover. For those of you who were following us or are following us on our Instagram page, the Trent Out Loud Show, we were the first content creators to release Gina's letter to the lawyers, to the judge, and that lawyer has allegedly set this building on fire. There's a lot of things that are going on. Diddy had a last-minute bombshell letter from Gina, victim number 3, and she said a lot, and it has set this whole sentencing tomorrow in a tailspin, okay? That is the scoop. That is the inside scoop that I have got for you guys. But like I said, I got a jam-packed show. I have 13 things that we're going to go over here. We're going to get to Gina's letter and everything. Yeah, you're live on TV. Say what's up. Hey.
Hi, hello.
There you go. Say out louders, what up?
For the media, right?
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, so that is, trust me, like bombshell stuff. Diddy's last-minute bombshell. It's just been crazy, okay? So, as always, we are going to, somebody said Team U Drake. No, Drake is the Team U Drake, okay? This is Trent Out Loud. Drake is the Team U Trent, all right? As always, I'm going to go through everything and then I'm going to get to the comment section. It's my favorite thing to do. We could discuss and we could go back and forth with everything that I said. Things you might disagree with or whatever. We'll have a conversation. We'll break everything down. Let me get through some facts first. And then we will, Pamela said, Trent, you so fine. Thank you, Pamela. You fine too, girl. All right, so let me get through some facts for you guys. And then, like I said, as always, I like to have some open discussion with you guys, okay? Just to let you know, let you guys know too, as I always do, I'm your eyes and ears out here. It's not too chaotic outside. We have some legacy media kind of like sitting down and holding their spots. That's like CNN, Fox, and whatever. And then over here, there's some line sitters sitting down already a little bit, but not as chaotic as I thought. I have gotten some calls though, and people say that they're on their way. So it's looking to be around like afternoon. Things are going to start getting chaotic. Tomorrow, these streets are going to be nuts. It's going to be blocked off. There's going to be police presence. It's going to be nuts, okay? Today, show what I'm going to do, what we're going to talk about here. No, I haven't seen Ben yet. Dude's braids nice, no Diddy. Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate you. By the way, yes, I've been here since 9. I haven't seen no Ben, no other rats, and y'all know from last Thursday, no squirrels yet either. And I forgot what we named a squirrel. Was he Nuts, Mike Nuts, or Nutbuster or something? Anyways, I haven't seen the squirrel, nor have I seen Ben, all right? All right, okay, so we are going to get through 13 things. First of all, I'm gonna give you guys a quick recap of last Thursday because it's important to know because a lot of it plays to sentencing. I have some inside information on how Diddy felt after last Thursday. Then there's a couple of facts. There's 3 points that I would like to point out. And there's also 2 other questions that I have for you guys that we could discuss. Then we are gonna go over the exact definition of the Mann Act. We're gonna go over Alexandra Shapiro's closing statements. We're gonna go over Gina's letter. Then we're gonna go after Diddy breaking his silence. And then we're gonna go to sentencing. I'm gonna give you guys some details of sentencing. And then we're gonna close out with my 2 theories on what is going to be happening tomorrow, okay? Let me just get something out of my bag here while you guys are like loading up. Hold on. Let me just, cause I have something in another phone that I want to get for you guys, all right? Yo, we're hanging out today. I got nothing to do but to hang out with you guys today. So no rushing, no nothing. I'm going to be on here with you guys for at least like an hour and a half, 2 hours, okay? All right, I got my other phone. I need things out of there. Okay. Here we go. We're going to get started, all right? We're going to give you guys a quick recap of what happened last Thursday. That's what I want to start out with. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, because I got a couple of DMs and like, you know, emails and questions of what's the difference of last Thursday and today. Quick recap. Last Thursday was Diddy's attempt to try to get his last attempt to get his charges thrown out. Diddy has been convicted of sex trafficking, and that's the Mann Act, which we'll talk about the definitions later. Not guilty on sex trafficking, force, fraud, and coercion, and RICO. During that, they asked to get an acquittal or a new trial last Thursday, which was denied by the judge. The judge sent a letter, I think, it was 2 days ago now, that he sent his decision saying, no, you cannot get that thrown out. Last week, I was explaining to you guys why Diddy wants to get thrown out. More than even going home tomorrow, Diddy is a billionaire, or was a billionaire, and he does not want to have to be sentenced tomorrow. He does not want to have a conviction on his under his name. He's a 55-year-old man who went through 30 years of his life, his adult life, without having any charges, and he wants to, of course, grow old without having any charges. But we'll get to that after, because that has to do with Trump and getting a pardon, now that we know that the judge did not let him throw out the acquittal from last Thursday, okay? Last week, Thursday, both sides argued back and forth. Alexandra Shapiro said the Mann Act is an embarrassment to the United States of America. They also said that Diddy was an amateur PORN producer. He just wanted to view his girlfriend and somebody else live. He was a voyeur. And under the First Amendment Act, that was his right. And he made no money off of it, okay? These were all the arguments last Thursday to get that thrown out. And they wanted no sentencing and no charges. The government says none of that is true. Behind closed doors, he was a very dangerous man, and we need to protect women, and we need to keep DRUG use down. And Diddy was putting his hands on every single person that was involved in these acts. So it wasn't just the acts that were going on, he was also putting hands on them, okay? Last week, the judge said that he will rule shortly. We didn't know if it was going to come Friday or Monday or whatever. It ended up coming on Tuesday. The judge also asked the government, this is very important for tomorrow, the judge last week, Thursday, asked the government if they have any case law that shows that somebody went to jail that never profited off of the Mann Act. Now, this is what I want to just talk to you guys about and remind you. We'll get into the exact definition of the Mann Act, but the Mann Act was created and especially addended in the 1980s to really go after people that are making money, that is running a commercial enterprise, sex trafficking. Diddy has never done that, never been profitable off of that. And the government has even attested to the fact that, yes, he transported them, but he never was making commercial money off of them. So the judge says, okay, prosecution, government, feds, what we need, and that's how court normally works, is you need to show me case law that shows that somebody else in the US has already been convicted of the Mann Act and they have gone to jail, not just a conviction and got probation or got whatever or had to pay a fine. Show me case law where they have been convicted of the Mann Act, they went and spent time in jail and they didn't make money. The prosecution said, yes, they have it last Thursday, and the judge said, where is it? The judge said, the prosecution said, we will give that to you before sentencing. From what I have seen and what I have heard, I haven't seen any of that. So the government is going to have to present that tomorrow at trial. We'll see if they come out with that. I'm not saying they're lying. I'm just saying it's a little bit weird that they were able to say that last week, Thursday, and nobody has seen it since. Okay, so that's going to be very, very important. The defense said also that somebody who didn't have sex with somebody should not be charged under the Mann Act. The Mann Act is sex trafficking, but if it is that, then if the person is not engaging in sex, then how could they even be charged? But regardless of all of that back and forth last Thursday, which we have gone through in detail, the judge just 2 days ago rejected the motion 29 plea, and that is why we are here today, okay? That was just a quick summary for those of you who don't know what happened last Thursday. You are now up to speed, okay? Now let's move over to the inside information that I was able to gather. Last week, Thursday, oh my gosh, it's very, very cold in New York, by the way. Last week when I was here, I was too hot. I wanted to take off my crew neck, and now this week I'm freezing. I wish I would have brought a jacket. Anyways, inside information, okay? The second thing we're going to talk about. Last Thursday, while we were in the courtroom, normally everybody leaves at the same time. The bailiffs asked the media, legacy media, and us content creators, new media, to leave the courtroom, and his family stayed back. And a couple of other people, like lawyers, his close friends, okay? Now, I got some inside information on what happened. Diddy said, I appreciate all of you, and every minute and every hour that goes by, it's closer to me coming home, which was a positive statement. I also think he also led them in prayer, but he was optimistic, saying, guys, I know that there's every day that passes, but don't look at it like every day that's passing that I'm staying here longer. Every day that passes is a day closer that I will be coming home. So Diddy is in a positive frame of mind. Also, what I've been told is since his conviction, it's been very hard on Diddy, which is a little surprising because you would think that knowing that you were facing life in jail, facing RICO, and facing SCX trafficking, force, fraud, and coercion, which is a minimum of 15 years, you would think that he would be positive and he would be happy. But from what somebody had said to me is that during the trial, him coming into court every day gave him something to do. But since he has been convicted and now awaiting sentencing, he feels like he's having a hard time kind of dealing with it. They said the trial was a healthy distraction for him, and now that it is over, he's having a hard time. I guess literally just having a hard time sitting down and waiting, but I would still think that in the back of his head, you know, for almost 9 months, this guy was sitting down saying, man, I might spend the rest of my life in jail. And the fact that now you might spend anywhere from, you know, 1 more day in jail to maybe 3 or 4 years, it wouldn't be that hard. But apparently he is not dealing with it very well. And last Thursday, he was trying to put a good face on for his family, which, you know, any father should try to do it, right? You know, he has 7 kids that were there, so I see where that is. All right, so that's the inside information on Diddy. Now, let's go to some facts and some questions, and then we'll go back to some details about the Mann Act, Shapiro, Gina's statement, Diddy breaking his silence, and sentencing tomorrow, okay? So a couple of facts that I've spoken with some legal experts to find for you guys and some people in this courthouse. Now, tomorrow, the court, the judge, cannot use any evidence from the RICO or SEX trafficking, force, fraud, and coercion in sentencing because that would be unconstitutional. I have been on this live here multiple amount of times with you guys, and there's been people in the comment section that has said, look at what he did with Kid Cudi's car. Look at what he did with this person. Look what he did with the girl that he had to do the lie detector. Look at what he did with the girl over the balcony, etc., etc. Look what happened to Cassie in the CNN tape. It is unconstitutional when sentencing somebody to use anything that was evidence in a crime that he was found not guilty for. So the judge is not supposed to be looking at what he did, for example, to Kid Cudi's car. Whether you think he did it or not, he was found not guilty of RICO. So that is something that is unconstitutional. And if the judge does do that, then that should be grounds of appeal, okay? So that's something that is a fact. Let's jump over here to fact number 2, and then we'll go over to some questions. It is a First Amendment right to be allowed to be a voyeur or to be an amateur PORN producer. This is something that the government has raised. The government raised last Thursday. That's why I wanted to recap that last Thursday. And the government made various examples of people who are in the adult industry that, for example, our director or a producer is sitting down in LA. He calls an actor, an adult actor from Atlanta, a male, and then a female from New York. He flies them into LA. They have a scene and he sells them. He's saying that's what Diddy was indirectly doing. Now, whether you agree with that or not, that was last Thursday, but that was their case. That was the argument that Diddy's team was presenting, and they were presenting this fact of the First Amendment right to be able to do that. Now, why that's important is for Motion 29 saying that the government didn't produce enough evidence, that might not be enough to throw out the conviction. It might not be enough to give Diddy a new trial, but it might be enough to give him a lesser sentence. Everybody online I see saying, the judge doesn't like Diddy, the judge hates Diddy, the judge this, the judge this, the judge this. I'm in that courtroom every day, okay? Or I was in the summertime during trial. Now, I'm not in the judge's mind, and I can't say if he likes Diddy or not, but what I can say is that I feel, just my opinion, the judge is pretty fair. And kind of like a doctor, I feel like the judge is able to segment things. And when he is looking at bail, I think he looks at bail and says, this is ground for bail. Although I don't agree with his decision on the bail package. I feel like he should have gotten bail because there's people who get unalive, the people who unalive people and they get bail. I feel like that he should have gotten bail, just my opinion. But I feel like he looks at things, okay, for bail, I feel like you're violent, I feel like you're this, blah, blah, blah. And during trial, I don't think you should get bail. And he looks under those conditions. Then with Motion 29, the judge, his defense team could say whatever they want. I feel he compartmentalizes that in that section. I feel this judge, Judge Sumeranian, now that he made his decision on bail and he made his decision on Motion 29, I feel like he is going to look at sentencing as a completely new factor. That is my opinion. That is not anybody else. That's just my opinion from what I've seen from this man. He is very precise and direct. He's always asking questions. He's always asking Diddy's team questions, and he's always asking the prosecution questions. I don't feel like he's taking sides. That's just my opinion from what I am seeing. And the fact that he cannot take anything from RICO and he can't take anything from SCX trafficking, force, fraud, and coercion, and he has to stay within the testimony of trafficking only, and he has to take in the constitutional rights and the First Amendment, I feel like that will play a role in sentencing. Again, just my opinion. The third factor I feel that could play a role in sentencing is something called the O'Brien test. The O'Brien test is something that was ruled on in the Supreme Court, and they says that the government needs to provide sufficient evidence on why they are interested in enforcing a law. Now, what does that mean? That means of like, why are you interested in Diddy, for example, okay? Like, why are you interested in policing prostitution? Like, what is the reason? The government can't just do something frivolously. So the test is, look, we feel like, for example, prostitution is detrimental to, we talked about this last time, prostitution is detrimental to a community. For example, if there's like, you know, a rub and tug or a massage parlor that's doing some shady stuff, then it's going to bring shady people, and it's not good for the community. So it's in the government's best interest to protect the people, and while protecting the people, we need to bring these things down. All right. So that's, the government has to show sufficient evidence on how they're working for the people. Let's not forget, the government is supposed to be there working for us. It's our taxpayers' money. Okay. So that's another thing I think the government has to look at, because Diddy's lawyers have been saying, why are you in this man's bedroom? Why are you in this man's bedroom? He was there with his girlfriends. He was there with escorts or prostitutes. Yes, there is the crossing state line, which he has found guilty of, but is there enough and sufficient reason for the government to be spending millions of dollars, bringing all the world's attention to one man doing something with his multiple girlfriends, in this case Jane and Cassie, and he is asking or paying for a prostitute's flight from Atlanta to New York? Is this sufficient enough for the government to be doing? Is Diddy doing enough damage to the community that the government needs to pay so much attention? There's 6 prosecutors. Maureen Comey's not there anymore, so maybe it's 5, but there's 6 prosecutors. How much are you paying them? How much was to bring in the SWAT team to Diddy's house in LA? How much did it cost to bring the SWAT team to Miami, the SWAT team in New York? What is the budget that y'all are spending on Diddy? And I'm not saying Diddy is the perfect person, but I'm saying, how much damage was he doing in the community, and how much time, effort, and money have you spent on bringing this man down versus what else is happening in New York City? Forget the rest of the country. What else is happening in Manhattan that you could have spent that money and that resources? How much more could you have helped the community with those kind of resources and that much money versus the damage that Diddy is doing? And I'm not saying he didn't do damage. He did damage to Cassie and Jane. I'll give you that. But let's say they spent $100 million. Would it have been better off to spend that $100 million on you know, people that are XCX trafficking, multiple people, and really causing damage to the community, like having rub and tugs and having massage parlors? But that would have been better resources. So these are things that the judge is going to have to consider, okay? Those are 3 facts. Now, I have 2 questions that I really want to ask you guys, and I really want your opinion. We're going to go to the comment section, and then we'll go back to something. Okay, the first question is, Diddy didn't make any money off of this act, and this act is supposed to focus on PIMPs and prostitutes. Diddy's lawyers and defense team has made it very, very clear that he was a customer. And I'm gonna read the Mann Act to you guys, but he was a customer, okay? He was giving the money, he was not making the money. And to that statement, the judge says, Diddy is responsible for making all of this happen. Maybe, yes, maybe you have a point that he was not a PIMP and he wasn't a prostitute, but he still was the kind of kingpin in organizing all of this. Diddy's defense team says yes, but he just watched. He watched people having SEX and he didn't take part in the act. The act in the Mann Act is actually SEX happening. So let's take a step back. He is not involved in the activity at all. He is not making money on it at all. Yes, he is paying and he is just watching. And we told you already that's a First Amendment act that you can and you're allowed to watch live, PORN, right? Yes, he paid for the flights and he flew them across state lines, but it wasn't for the purpose of having SEX with him. So he flew them in, but they weren't having SEX with him. And I just want to remind you guys something. Of every single escort that testified there, I know y'all might not believe them because there's a lot of civil cases that say different, but never one person in this courthouse said that they had any interaction or even touched Diddy. Not one. Not one escort said they even slapped him on his butt. Okay, like nothing of the sort. So should Diddy be responsible and should he be sitting in, oh, there's a wasp. First we have rats, squirrels, and now wasps. So Diddy be sitting in this court? Well, sorry, he's sitting in MDC, but I'm trying to make a point here. Should he be sitting in here because he paid for them to fly, but he had nothing to do with the SCX other than watching and somebody else was benefiting from the gratification? Okay. The government says, listen to this, they have a little bit of a point. The government says the act is about transporting a person across state lines for the purpose of SEX. They said that he had the intent. So if the language is the purpose, then the prosecution has a point with the fact that he just had an intent. So that's like if I have an intent to unalive somebody and the government finds that out, yes, it's not actually unaliving somebody, but the fact that I had an attempt is attempted unaliving, and that is a charge, okay? But this is my question for you, and I'm gonna go to the comment section really quickly. Do you guys see that the fact that you are flying somebody over for the intent to be with them, but the intent was not for them to be with him personally? So regardless if he did or not, and if it's intent or not, the point is that only thing Diddy technically is guilty of is, yes, orchestrating it and yes, paying for it, but he never intended, nor did he have SCX with any of the escorts. So should he be the one that is spending 11 years and 3 months in jail? I'm gonna go really quickly, let you guys know. This dude wants to step in, me love, whatever, okay, looking at Giselle Maxwell, okay, I'm out. This dude has no comprehension of words, okay. So somebody said, all right, so Kay said no, he shouldn't. Somebody said yes. Somebody said he's guilty as charged. Somebody said I'm sick, okay. All right, we have some haters here. All right, a lot of people are saying no. I do not agree with Trent, but respect his opinion. Okay, so I'm looking at around halfway. My eyes are watering because of this wind here. Somebody said rot in prison. This is a distraction from the real issue. Somebody said I don't think so. That coward deserves a maximum sentence. Okay, so somebody said Trent is a liar. How am I lying? I'm just telling you guys facts. Okay, guys, this is what I'm trying to figure out, and I'm really trying to understand, and I want to have this conversation. I'm gonna start making moderators to like get like haters out of here. Here's another example, okay? Here is another example that's another question, and then we could go back and discuss. I promise you guys I'm not crying because of bad comments. It's really just the wind. Here is another question, okay? It's similar, and it takes Diddy out of it. I wanna ask you guys a question. If you guys are an owner of a company, okay? Let's say you're a businessman or a businesswoman, okay? And You have a client. Business people take clients out all the time for dinner, or they take them out to whatever, basketball games. Like when I had my Nike account, when I was selling sneakers, man, Nike took me out two or three times every season to basketball games. They took me out to dinner. Like, it's what they do. All-Star game, I had tickets or whatever. Business people schmooze clients. If there's a businessman or a businesswoman and he takes one of his clients to one of these places, right? A rub and tug, a massage parlor, a brothel, whatever. Hold on, is me allowed to speak at sentencing? Okay. All right, somebody just texted me, I won't tell you who, but they were talking about Mia. We'll get to that. I know you're watching, Insider. Yo, I will get to Mia, okay? Sorry, where was I now? Yeah, so if I'm a businessman and I go to one of these places and I pay for my client to have sex with a prostitute, am I guilty of being involved in the prostitution if I'm paying for it? Or is it the prostitute and the John? What is your answer? I'm a businessman. I want to schmooze a client. Want to get a deal done. And I'm like, yo, let's go to this place. I know a place. I see a girl. You like that girl? Yo, let me pay for that. Yo, go upstairs, have fun. Should I be in jail for 11 years for that? Yes, the judge said, so in his motion, somebody said it's called trafficking. Are you guilty? Who's behind you? Their choice to sleep with the pros. The judge can deny all he wants, but thank God there is more judges. If Diddy is guilty, Cassie should be as well. Somebody said yes. It's called dirty money. I really don't know the answer to this question. Like, I've been banging my head over it. Like, obviously the person who is paying, like, I get of course they're involved, right? Because if prostitution is illegal, yes, the person is paying. There's something involved in it. Like, I get that, but I don't know, man. Isn't it really the person who's in the act, the two people who's in the act, and the person paying? Like, I don't know, maybe she'd get like a probation, or she'd get some, like, I just don't know if the business, and first of all, by the way, this happens around the world every single day. Like, let's just not get it twisted, okay? Like, I'm not trying to be a Diddy fan or not or whatever. I'm just like, again, I'm just questions and presenting it to you guys. And that's literally what Diddy did. There was two people that he put together for whatever the reasons are, and he wanted to film it. He wanted to partake in it. He wanted to, sorry, not partake in it, but he wanted to sit back. Is that a reason to send a man to jail for 11 years and 3 months? Okay. I'm going to go to the comment sections after because there's a lot of things I want to get to. He facilitated it. He is just as responsible as if he did the actual act. Okay, that's fine. Somebody said, Trent, read my ish. Okay, Paula Wood, I didn't see your thing. Let me just see. Paula, say it again and I promise I will read it. Sorry, there's a lot of things going on. Hell nah, plus she's selling it. Isn't it legal in another state? Didn't Trump call girls? Yeah, well, don't even get started with Trump, all right? Because Trump would be, do you know how many people would be in jail if this was something that they went after everybody for? Like, it's just craziness, man. Okay, Larry says, but how is it a crime when they hire them legally? Exactly what I'm saying. It is easier for a camel to go through the eye. Okay, I don't know what that is, a camel. The oldest trade in the world. Hey, somebody sent me a super chat. Thank you. You're playing devil's advocate. Okay. Trent didn't read the judge's motion. Okay, we're going to ignore Love Mira here. He should never see the light of day again. Okay, when somebody's saying that, like, Ryan, not to call you out, he should never see the light of day again. For what reason? This is what I have a hard time understanding. Diddy was found not guilty of RICO. He was found not guilty of sex trafficking, force, fraud, and coercion by a jury of his peers. You guys sit down at home and see things on blogs, read half things, believe everything from civil cases, and see things on YouTube, but you fail to think that the people, the 12 people that sat down, saw everything, got everything, and then rendered their decision, those people all got it wrong, but you are right and you think that he should go to jail for the rest of his life? I don't understand. Like, it's either you, like, the court system is set up so that you can be judged by a jury of your peers. He was judged by a jury of his peers. They all unanimously, it wasn't a hung jury, they unanimously said not guilty. I don't understand why you think he should be in jail for a crime that he was not found guilty of. Like, this is what I have a hard time. Like, we should look and say, how long, the question is, how long should he be in jail? How long should he be sentenced for transporting a prostitute from Atlanta to New York? Like, that's all we should focus on. Like, and if you think for that crime that he's been found guilty of, he should spend the rest of his days in jail for life, then so be it. That's totally your opinion, but I feel like that's crazy to me. Okay, I'll go back to the comments, I promise. I would like to read, and maybe this will help. Maybe this will help you guys determine what you feel his sentencing should be tomorrow. I would like to read to you guys the definition and the creation of the Mann Act, okay? I did this in a video on Instagram, and a lot of people in the comments were like, wow, I never knew the details of it, okay? And just to remind you guys, I know some of you might not like him. I know some of you guys might not like the Cassie video. I don't like it either. But we have to deal with facts. Sean Diddy Combs will be here tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. on the 26th floor because he was found guilty of the act that I'm about to read to you. He has not been found guilty for what he did to Cassie or anything else. He's been found guilty for the Mann Act, and this is what the Mann Act is. The Mann Act is a United States federal law enacted in 1910, so 115 years ago, as the White Slave Trade Act that prohibits the interstate transportation of individuals for an immoral purpose such as prostitution or sex exploitation, and for the purpose of illegal sex activity. Named after its sponsor, Congressman James Robert Mann, it was originally intended to combat forced prostitution and protect women from white slavery, but was broadly written and later amended to include broader prospects against sex exploitation, including younger people, okay? Now listen to this. Purpose and amendments. The original intent. The Mann Act was passed during the Progressive era with the goal of stopping forced prostitution and trafficking of women across state lines for debauchery. The broader wording, the act was broad that it was often used for criminal sex activity, leading to widespread use of individuals who were not victims of coercion, such as boxer Jack Johnson, okay, which is racially undertoned because Jack Johnson was a black boxer. Later amended in 1978 and 1986, the Mann Act was significantly updated to broaden its perspective against commercial sex exploitation of both younger people and immoral purposes. Here is some racial motivation. Many scholars argue that the Mann Act was racially motivated, as evidenced by its initial targeting of black boxer Jack Johnson for taking his white wife across state lines. Are you guys hearing what I'm saying to you? Like, this is the origins of the act that Diddy will have to be faced and sentenced for tomorrow. Broader application. The broader language of the Mann Act allows it to be applied to a wide range of situations beyond forced prostitution, and it became a tool for both political and moral enforcement. Continuing relevance, although that it has been updated over years, the Mann Act remains a federal law ensuring legal protection against trafficking and sex exploitation. That was the technical definition of the Mann Act, okay? 1910, racially motivated to stop a black man from getting a white wife and crossing her over state lines. More broadly, it has been updated to be to a law that goes after people that have multiple people doing this for commercial activity, meaning somebody that has multiple people that they're trafficking, making a business off of it. Again, not even the prosecution has ever admitted that Diddy was doing this for commercial purposes, making multiple amounts of money, okay? I want to go to what Alexandra Shapiro said in her closing last Thursday. I think, to me, it's one of the strongest points that anybody has made during Motion 29. Alexandra Shapiro said, "The last thing I will say is just this, and I know the court is aware of this. The statute that Mr. Combs has been convicted of violating is possibly the most infamous law in the history of the United States of America. It's racially and sexually, in origins, and early enforcement are well documented and beyond dispute. And even 100 years ago, in a very different age, the statute has been criticized by multiple Supreme Court justices who sought to limit it to commercial use only." Okay? Even in its early days, and certainly later in the 20th century, many judges and juries refused to enforce it. Like, this is like beyond me that we're here for this, guys. She also went on to say, "We only talk about that a little bit briefly, but it's discussed at length in this book," which they submitted last Thursday, "which we cited to everyone's interest. The whole history of the statute is really, and I would submit respectfully, an embarrassment to the United States of America. Nearly 75 years ago, as we talked about in our last discussion, the DOJ stopped enforcing the law in non-commercial cases." I'm going to repeat. The DOJ stopped enforcing this law, the Mann Act, in non-commercial cases. And he followed that policy to this day. Other than in cases involving young people or SEX trafficking, and under the policy, this case would have never been charged had the government not brought the other charges, but it was unable to provide those charges, unable to prove those charges, and the jury rejected them. So, again, that is the definition of the Mann Act, and that is Alexandra Shapiro's plead to the judge of the fact of that the DOJ itself 75 years ago did not look at these, that did not apply this law to non-commercial use. Before we get back to the chat, and before I tell you some stuff about Diddy breaking his silence and sentencing, I want to read to you something that came out yesterday that is literally exploding and causing a frenzy, okay? Gina, victim number 3, who was supposed to testify, there was Cassie, Jane, and victim number 3. Gina wrote this letter and sent it to the judge. Dear Judge Sumeranian, I know you are sentencing Sean Diddy Combs on Friday, tomorrow, and I have been thinking a lot about it. I saw in past letters were submitted by many concerning the sentence. No one asked me or told me to write this letter, but I felt my voice needed to be heard as I was identified in victim number 3 in this case, and I understand charges that were brought concerning me, including SEX trafficking and prostitution. I cooperated fully with prosecutors. I met them 3 times. I answered their question and gave them all information and evidence I had, including pictures, videos, and text messages from my phone. During those meetings, I felt pressured to feel like a victim. Just want to reiterate, Gina, victim number 3, said that she met with the prosecution 3 times, answered all their questions, gave them evidence, including pictures, videos, and text messages. During those meetings, she felt pressured to feel like a victim. I told them I was not, but they insisted I was, even when I expressed my truth otherwise. I understand they concluded that I had been sex trafficked and involved in forced prostitution. I did not agree with that conclusion. I was not trafficked. I did not engage in prostitution with him or others. That would have been my testimony had I taken the stand. I was subpoenaed and fully prepared to testify and answer all questions truthfully, but I was informed by my lawyer that I would not be called to take the stand. Why didn't the prosecution tell us that, guys? And again, I am not here advocating for Diddy. I haven't even got to the comments, but I understand why you guys would even think this. I am really just presenting facts, and I would like for you to answer this. We were in that courtroom every day. Why didn't the prosecution tell us this before? Why did the prosecution tell us why victim number 3 was not going to testify? Now, there are theories out there that maybe Diddy got to Gina, maybe this, but if we have to look and take Cassie's testimony as fact, and we have to take Jane's testimony as fact, don't we have to take Gina's testimony as fact? Gina didn't get to testify. She said she wanted to testify. She said that she would testify this, but because the prosecution didn't want to let her testify, she's sending in this testimony. So if this is her testimony and we have to take Jane and we have to take Cassie at their word, don't we have to take Gina at her word? And her word is that she wasn't trafficked. And her word is that nobody asked her to send in this letter, whether you believe her or not. But if you believe Cassie and you believe Jane, then why don't you believe Gina? That's all I'm saying. And she goes beyond and she said that she never felt like she was a victim. She never said she was a victim. And she's saying that the government was telling her that she was a victim. Shouldn't that open an investigation? Shouldn't that pause everything for you? If this was your brother, sister, aunt, uncle, mother, father, and there was somebody that was subpoenaed. Y'all know what subpoenaed means. The government tells you, yo, you gotta come to court. You must come to court. You have no choice. And you're like, okay, I'm gonna come and tell you that I wasn't trafficked. I never felt this way. I was never a prostitute. None of these things happened that you were saying. And that's what I'm gonna say in court. And they're like, actually, we don't need you anymore. And she's gonna tell them that, yo, the government was telling me I was a victim. I didn't feel like a victim. The government told me I was a victim. What does that mean for the investigation? What happened in the investigation with Jane? What happened with the investigation with Cassie? Was somebody telling them that they were victims? And I'm not saying that they did, but I'm just saying, doesn't that warrant some sort of inquiry into the government's investigation if there's one of their witnesses that were subpoenaed is telling us that the government was coercing her to say something? They have Diddy on trial and try to put him in jail for force, fraud, and coercion, and now you have one of their witnesses saying that the government was coercing them. That's kind of ironic. You have somebody in NBC right now for coercion, but a witness is saying that the government coerced them. That to me should pause everything, have an investigation, and if they find out that this is true, this alone is true, to me the charges should be thrown out and Diddy should get a new trial. Give him a new trial. If this is true, this should at least be investigated. I'm just gonna carry on. I want to emphasize that I understand the seriousness of this case and the pain others may feel. I cannot speak for anybody but myself. In terms of sentencing, I kindly ask that you consider releasing him back to his family. I understand throughout the process, he has been cooperative and respectful, including turning himself in. Throughout this process, he has never once reached out to me or made me feel uncomfortable in any way. Again, I don't know if this letter is true, but we have been told that we have to believe Cassie and we have to believe Jane. So why don't we believe Gina? So this is saying he's never contacted me. He didn't pay me off. He hasn't badgered me. I am giving you this letter on my own volition. This is me. Now, I'm not even looking at the chat, but I know you guys are going to say, because I've seen it already this morning, you guys are going to say, well, she went on Tasha K and she said this and she said that. Now, I'm not even going to get into that whole Tasha K thing, but for those of you who don't know, yes, Gina has gone on Tasha K and said that her and Diddy had some issues, that Diddy put hands on her, etc., that she was pregnant at one time, etc. Now, I don't know if what she was saying to Tasha K is true or not. Tasha K just got sued and lost a defamation case against Cardi B, and she had to file for bankruptcy and pay Cardi B $1 million. It was actually $4 million, but through her bankruptcy, now it's only $1 million. So I don't know if that interview was true, but I know y'all want to believe it because the people who hate Diddy want to believe that. But what I'm saying to you is that even if that was true, does that mean that she was trafficked? Let's say he did put hands on her. Let's just say for argument's sake, does that mean that she was trafficked? Does it mean that this letter wasn't true? I just don't understand how the scenario that works out best for your narrative is the scenario that's true. At least I am saying, I don't know if this letter is true. I don't know if Tasha K is true. I don't know if anything is true. I don't know. I don't know what Cassie went through. I don't know what Jane went through. I don't know what Gina went through. But what we have been told is if somebody is testifying and somebody is saying that this is the truth, we should take it as truth. So Gina is saying that I was never a victim. The government is trying to tell me I'm a victim. And Diddy never put me up to this. And I'm just saying this for my own volition. Now, let me just continue. It's a little bit longer. It never made me feel uncomfortable in any way. I believe he will continue to be compliant with the courts. Sorry, it's really small on this stupid phone that I have here. Excuse me. Follow the court's condition upon release. I understand that accountability is important, and I am not writing this to dismiss the gravity of the charges, nor criticize anyone. I write to express my perceived experience as a so-called victim. I write to express how I felt during the investigation of the trial and how I feel now waiting to hear the sentence. I felt compelled to share my own experience. Honestly, I respectfully ask that you take my words into consideration when making a decision. Thank you for your time and allowing me to be heard. Gina. I think that is crazy. Sorry, this wind is really making my eyes water like crazy. It's super windy here. Okay, so that's Gina. What else do we got before I go to the chat? I cannot wait to go to the chat. Okay. Let's go to Diddy breaking his silence. I had something here, but it's in this phone that I'm recording on. So I'm just going to go on to like, let me see something here. I'm just going to go on to like what I have in my head. So as you all know, Diddy did not testify during his trial, as we all know. But apparently, Diddy will be testifying at sentencing tomorrow. And whoever, that person who just texted me, I will say what you texted. Is it fair that Mia gets to testify at Diddy's sentencing tomorrow? Now, Mia is Diddy's ex-assistant. That a lot of people feel like she kind of had this kind of fake voice, that she was hiding behind a pseudonym, and etc., etc. Is it okay for her to be testifying tomorrow? Is that fair? I'll leave that to you in the chat. Diddy will be testifying tomorrow. Diddy will be breaking his silence. Since I was in that courtroom after about, I don't know, over a month and a half now, we have heard Diddy say like, "Thank you, Your Honor," "Hi, Your Honor," and yes when he asked him if he's going to plead guilty. Apparently, allegedly, Diddy will be speaking on his own behalf tomorrow and explaining why he feels like he should be let out on time served. Now, I have said before that I felt like Diddy, and actually Mark Agnifilo said this too, that he felt like Diddy wants to take the stand because Diddy is anxious to tell his side of the story. Smart move not putting him out and not putting him on the stand. He would have to face cross-examination. During sentencing, you don't get to face cross-examination. So this is Diddy's time to say his piece. Just my own opinion, I don't think it's the best move personally. I know Diddy is a good speaker. I know he's confident in himself. I mean, this guy brought himself from Harlem to being one of the most successful people in the music industry in the last, 30 or 50 years, or just in music history, period, right? He made himself into a billionaire and made people around him successful. I get that. I personally think that, like I said to you, I feel like Diddy's team has already done enough. I feel like the fact with the Mann Act being such a ridiculous law that needs to be amended. Thank you for the super chat, Bully Breaker. Thank you. I'll read that comment. Well, hold on, let me read it now since he gave me a super chat. Time served should be the sentence. He wasn't on trial for DV, and it's not illegal to be a freaky frog unless you're famous and rich. Hey, that's basically what I'm saying here. So thank you for that super chat. Again, just my opinion, I think people are reading too much. It is so cold out here. Ugh. I feel like Diddy's team has done a good job. I feel like last Thursday, Alexandra Shapiro did a great job. That's why I read you part of her statement saying that the DOJ does not look at this anymore for people that don't have commercial use. Multiple people. Diddy is not that. The fact that it originated in as a racist law. The fact of Gina's letter. That alone, the judge should be like, I'm not even talking about sentencing anymore. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that gets thrown out. Like, yo, change of plans. After this letter, we are not sentencing anybody. We are looking into the federal government of America. Oops, sorry. That I would not be surprised. Oh, damn it. I would not be surprised if that happened. I'm so cold. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. Stay tuned. Anything could happen at any time. Having said all of that, my opinion, if I was Diddy, I'd ride it out, man. I wouldn't go up there and say anything. I feel like he has some of the best lawyers in this country. Unless they are the ones that are telling him to go up and talk at his sentencing and they have something planned out to say, I just feel with the impression that the judge has of him after hearing all of these things for the past 2 months, I just think it's risky. Put it that way. I just think it's risky. I think it's risky. And I have been very vocal about the fact that I disagree with Diddy asking to come tomorrow to court in normal clothes and not be in jail clothes. I, again, don't think that that's the best idea. I understand where he's coming from. He wants to appear as an innocent man and he wants to be judged, looking a certain way. And that's the reason why when there's a jury and you're innocent until proven guilty, you get to come in, proper attire and not jail clothes. But the only person that Diddy has to worry about is the judge. That's the only person who's sentencing him. It doesn't matter what CNN sees or what content creator sees or whoever else is in the courtroom. All Diddy should be focused on is the judge. And the whole point, while Diddy is asking to be let out, is to be at home with his family. And I just feel like him asking to come in normal attire or normal clothes, and I understand from his point of view, but that's not what I would want to put in the judge's mind. I would be like, Judge, bring me in front of you in a bathrobe. Bring me in front of you in whatever you want. Put me in a freaking bikini if you want. I don't care. I just want to go home. I just want to go home because I have children that I need to take care of. My mom is elderly. Like, I just think that the issue of how I'm going to appear in court is not important. And that's Diddy being Diddy. And I feel like if he gets up there tomorrow and pleads his case, some of that of Diddy might come out. And I feel like it might not be advantageous to him. Again, just my 2 cents, okay? All right, so we did Gina's letter. We did Diddy breaking his silence. Okay, let's go over sentencing now, okay? We got 2 more things, and then we're going to go to the chat. We're going to talk, because I know you guys want to talk, all right? I know you guys want to drill me on the things that I was saying. Here is sentencing, okay? Hold on. Sentencing is this. Diddy is a first-time offender, meaning that Diddy does not have a criminal record. Diddy wasn't, what does it say? Diddy wasn't something? Oh, sorry, Diddy wasn't charged with RICO, SEX, trafficking, force, fraud, and coercion. We already know that. And this case was really about those bigger issues, not the smaller issue. How much time will Diddy get? Diddy's sentencing is scheduled for Friday. So we'll look at the paperwork and ask some experts what they think will happen. On October the 3rd, Sean Diddy Combs will be sentenced in a federal racketeering trial. He was found guilty of 2 counts of transporting individuals to gain in prostitution. However, the jury acquitted him of the more serious charges. The question is, how much time will he serve? Okay, this is the guidelines, really important. For decades, federal judges followed strict sentencing guidelines based on crime type and criminal history. In 2005, the U.S. versus Booker made those guidelines advisories, allowing judges to consider them, but also impose longer or shorter sentences when appropriate. What does that mean? The judge can do whatever he darn well pleases tomorrow, okay? It's really up to the judge. Congratulations on your wedding. You look beautiful. How guidelines work, okay? So very important to know, guys, the judge could do whatever they want, okay? Sentencing is based on 2 factors: the offense level, a number from 1 to 43 assigned to the crime, and the defendant's criminal history, which I just told you Diddy has none. Characterized from 1 to 5, from least to most serious, meaning 1 would be Diddy, 5 if it's somebody more serious. Both the government and the defense agrees that his criminal history falls at a category number 1. So people that are like, he needs to go to jail for life, he needs to go to jail for 30 years. Even the government is saying, and there's 2 things to look at. We need to look at his criminal history, his criminal past. He's a 1, meaning that he's on the lowest end. There's 1 to 5, he's on the lowest end. So of the 2 factors, he's already at the lowest. Here is where it doesn't get as positive. What the defense, it's positive and then it gets bad. This is what the defense wants. Diddy's lawyers are arguing for an offense level of 10, citing his lack of prior criminal history. At that level, sentencing guidelines recommends a term of 6 to 12 months, less time than he has already served. Since a shorter sentence isn't possible, they are asking the judge to impose no more than 14 months, which is time served. That is the explanation of why they feel it's time served. People are thinking, his lawyers just want him out tomorrow. Of course they just want him out tomorrow, but it actually goes into a mathematical equation, and the equation is 6 to 12 months, and they're saying, all right, it's already been 14 months. We can't get back those 2 months. Let him out now. Now here's where it gets bad for Diddy. This is what the government wants. The government is making 2 separate arguments. One in which Diddy should get 20 years, which is crazy after I just read the Mann Act to you. The other, he should get around 11 years. When asking for 20 years, the government argues that the base offense level should be increased because he caused another person to engage in SEX act and threatened or placed the victim in fear, and because Combs was the organizer and the leader. For the more lenient sentence, the government argues there should be 5-level increase because there was more than 6 victims, which is true, which is a fact. Cassie Ventura, Jane, and the escorts involving Combs' freak-offs. In this version of the argument, the Fed also raises the offense level because the crime involved fraud and coercion, and that ends up being a level 31. But that makes no sense to me because he was found not guilty, but whatever. Given Diddy's lack of prior criminal history, the guideline ranges from 108 to 135 months. That's how the government gets to 11 years and 3 months. Again, to be fair, this is their calculation. I don't necessarily agree with their calculation, but everyone's like, 11 years and 3 months, how did they come up with that? It's a calculation. You don't have to agree with it, but it is a calculation. What do experts say? When asked, an expert attorney, blah, 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 somebody from Hyatt case, whatever, he's currently representing blah, 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 blah. The judge is probably going to pick a number somewhere in between the prosecution and what the defense is asking. Combs could be in jail for over a year. Combs has already been in jail for over a year. This time will likely count towards his sentencing. In addition, the federal sentencing of over a year, inmates get 85% of their time. The math involved is complicated, so coming up with an exact number is nearly impossible, but the general idea is that each year of the prisoner's sentence counts for around 319 days. How might this apply to Sean Combs? Well, let's take the example of 38 months sentence, which is between the defendant and the prosecution's guideline. He would most likely get credited for the 14 months that he's already served. That leaves 24 months, which is 2 years of imprisonment, which is with good time credit served. That means that he'll have a sentence of around 20 to 21 months. None of this is guaranteed, of course. The judge may set the guidelines at a lower range and decide that it's unfair, or ultimately go above and give him more. At the end of the day, Sean Combs' release will be determined by the federal judge. So just to give you guys some insight of, they're not just sitting down and making up. The judge has some equations and some guidelines that he has to follow. Diddy's defense has showed him a guideline that they feel is fair, and their guideline math adds up to 6 to 12. The government adds up to 11. Experts say it will come down to around 2 years, meaning that some experts believe that Diddy will not walk out of this jail tomorrow a free man, or walk out of MDC a free man, that he'll have to spend another year or so, a year and change, in jail, okay? So here are my 2 theories, and then we'll go to the chat. Woo woo, we did the 70 minutes. Here are my theories, okay? Oh, let me not close it because I don't want to make a mistake. Here are my 2 theories. Some of you, and it's not really all my theories, it's some kind of inside information that I got, okay? And I know you guys are not going to like this because it involves Trump. And I hate, you guys hate when I talk about Trump, but Diddy's team has already admitted that they have spoken to Trump. So y'all could just Google that if you want, okay? If Diddy gets sentenced to the guidelines that I just said, and he stays in jail for another year, year and a half, maybe Trump might pardon him and free him with all of the things that Diddy's team has said. Now, and I won't go over to them, the Mann Act, the reason why he should be let out, he was never the commercial this or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Now, if you guys see what if you guys witness what Trump just did with TikTok, and Trump made himself look like the savior of TikTok, you'll understand why there's some speculation that Trump may want Diddy to stay inside so he could be the one that gives him the pardon. And like I told you, Nicole Westmoreland has already gone on, 60 Minutes or some show, saying, we are in active talks with the Trump team. Y'all know Donald Trump. Trump wants credit for everything. And there's a lot of people just in my chat that wants Diddy free. We'll see what happens. Could you imagine tomorrow if he gets 11 years and 3 months. Even the people who don't like Diddy and hate Diddy feel like 11 years and 3 months is excessive. I've seen Torre say it. I've seen a bunch of people who are like, yo, Diddy is guilty. This is wrong. What he did is wrong, but they feel 11 years is bad. If they give him 11 years and 3 months tomorrow, and Donald Trump comes a couple of weeks later and was like, give him a pardon, these are the things that Trump wants. Trump wants to be in the media. Trump actually, I've already told you, Trump wants you to not like him. Trump just wants you to talk about Trump. That's one thing that's going. And the other theory is that he gets let out tomorrow. And what happens if he gets let out tomorrow? Maybe there could be somebody that takes credit for not having Comey there. And y'all could do your research and find out why Comey is not there. We saw Marie Comey's father just last week get indicted. You all can put 2 and 2 together, right? So there's a lot going on behind the scenes, a lot that will be happening tomorrow. There's some bigger people in play here. You know, allegedly, if you just think that, you know, things just happen why they happen, then that's up to you. But there's a reason for everything, all right? So there's speculation that he gets sentenced, and then that's when Mr. Big Donald Trump comes in and saves the day and gets everybody riled up and gets everybody going crazy. Or he gets out and, you know, there's some people that take credit for getting him out, all right? So that is what I have for you guys. Let me know what you think. All right, 1 hour and 15 minutes almost of straight information. I want to know who else is giving y'all that, yo. The day before the trial, no, I mean the day before the sentencing. I'm still now, even at 2 o'clock, the only content creator out here going live directly from the courtroom. Maybe some people are live at home. I don't know. I want to put people down or nothing. But yo, I'm still the only one out here, all right? There's like line sitters here and stuff. CNN is not even here. Look down the street. CNN, Fox, nobody's out here. Just line sitters and your boy working for y'all, giving y'all an hour and 15 minutes of straight content and straight goods. Straight goods, all right? And now I'm ready for the barrage of questions. I'm ready for the barrage of, yo, send him in jail for the rest of his life. I'm ready for everything. Bring it on, bring it on. I'm excited. But first, at least give me some thumbs up for giving y'all some inside scoops, some information, and you know, I worked hard on this, man. I've been preparing this for a couple of days. So, you know, give me some thumbs ups or something. Like, good job, Trent. Thumbs up. Yeah, I got some thumbs up. Yo, I'm excited because, yo, tomorrow's going to be my last day doing this, man. I've been doing this for like, I don't know, gosh, for like 3-4 months now, covering it. Thumbs up. Great work, brother. Even if you disagree with me, even if you think Diddy should spend the rest of his jail and life in jail, you don't like him or whatever, yo, man, you cannot tell me that I have not been working for y'all, yo. I have been working, I've been working, man. Even when I'm not here behind the scenes getting stuff, notes and all of that stuff, man. Hey. All right, okay, cool. Thank you. I got here early today, man. I haven't slept. That's probably why I'm a little extra hyper. I've had 3 cups of coffee. I have not slept. I left my house at like 3 o'clock in the morning. I tried to sleep on the plane and I don't know, I was just too amped up and I was making notes and I was just getting ready for the show. So I'm really, really amped up and I really like this stuff, man. Like I said, you know my community, you know the Out Louders, whether you disagree with me or not, I just like giving you guys information and just like bringing you guys facts and then we talk about it or whatever. So thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for the great job. I appreciate y'all, and I love y'all. All right, let's get to talking now. I'm scrolling up. Give me your questions. Let me know what you thought. Am I right or wrong? You disagree? I can't see that number up there. You disagree with me? You agree with me? What's going on? Get paid. Trent, you are doing a good job. Thank you very much. Diddy sentencing, nice job. Trent, love your reporting style. If you got haters, are doing a good job. Thank you very much. He can't even something incriminate himself. His pride keeps burning him. Truth before fiction. Keep up the good work, brother. Appreciate you. Okay, I'm gonna raise this up because I can't keep bending down. I'm too tall. Okay, here. Somebody said you're bugging, sir. Meant you are. He will get 5 years. Okay, he will get. I can actually put this even closer now. He will get 5 years, reduced to 3 years. He gets out, goes somewhere far away, and doesn't expose himself anymore to the public. I have said that repeatedly. I feel like whenever Diddy gets out, if he gets out tomorrow, and if he gets out another day, I feel like Diddy's gonna change, yo. I don't think he's gonna go away because I feel like he's gonna want to make money, but I feel like we're gonna see a different Diddy. I'm telling you that. I was on a live with his brother-in-law Charlucci, and somebody was asking him like, "Yo," another content creator was asking him like, "Yo, when he gets out, are you gonna make sure he gets off of DRUG?" And Charlucci was like, I will see it myself that he does not go back on there, and he will not be the same person. Like, I feel like his family is going to pull together and really help him stay on the path. That's what I think. His daughters crying seeing him like that for sure. The judge will max him out for the fact he never took any accountability. Okay, that's your opinion. I get it. The judge is not listening to Gina, someone that didn't even testify when they couldn't testify. Hold on a second. These things are going by too quickly. Hold on a second. Gina just said that she wanted to testify, and the prosecution wouldn't let her testify because the only reason what she wanted to say was the fact that she was not a victim. So we all thought that Gina was in hiding, or they couldn't find her, or doing whatever, or did he pay her off, or whatever all your different theories are. We come to find out now that she wanted to testify, but the government wouldn't let her because she was going to expose the government and tell the government, yo, I gave you guys everything. I told you guys I was not a victim. I told you guys I didn't prostitute. I told you guys I was never trafficked. And you, the government, were trying to make me feel like a victim. That is why Gina didn't testify. And if you believe Cassie, if you believe Jane, if you believe everybody, then you should believe Gina, what she says too. You can't have one without the other, man. I like your hair. Nice locks. Thank you. Appreciate you. Trent rocking those fly glasses. Bro, all your unsubscribed, bro. I told you to be... Okay, I don't know what people are talking. I hope he's show remorse for tomorrow. Good job, brother. Goodbye, you Diddy... Okay. Well, we got some hate today. He didn't present. Okay. Trent out loud is the best out here. Somebody needs to say Charlie Kirk. Okay, we're not talking about Charlie Kirk. Why he didn't mean Paul. Okay, we just get to some real comments here. Cassie got what she asked for. She was... okay, that's not... I'm not going to read mean things about Cassie. Gina could have been on TMZ making bank for this story, or better yet, the Two Angry Men podcast. Diddy was getting a couple of years. Why no bail? I don't know. Somebody said, who cares? He's not paying my bills. Diddy doesn't...
Oh, sorry.
No problem. He just never caught. Okay, no. The judge... Trent NT, how come everything you say is exact opposite what everybody else is saying? Yo, all I'm telling you is facts, okay? That's all I'm telling you. I don't know. And my opinion could just be my opinion. And it doesn't matter if somebody else has a different opinion than me. I'm never going to have any fear of telling you my opinion, all right? Another person said, I agree with Bully. I don't know who Bully is. Okay, I wonder if he will take Cassie back after this. Somebody said, oh, Drake himself. The trial exposed he was committing crimes for years. 20 years is insane. Joe Rogan just walked away. What? Cassie should walk. Okay, I don't know what's going on here. Blah, 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 blah. He's guilty, like thousands of people. Okay, no, 2 or 3 years. Bah, 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 bah. Okay, can we get some comments in here? I want to have some discussions. What's going on? Where are y'all people at? I can't. You can't move the guidelines up on calculations dealing with charges. Dealing with charges he's not charged with. They need to get rid of the other prosecutors. This case has been straight up entertainment. All right, here, Class C said that he will walk. F said, you can't defend somebody who is guilty. Leniency to guilty is cruelty to the victims. Another person, Thomas, said that he will walk. Ray D said, look, I did times 4 times in federal prison under U.S. versus Booker. The judge does not have to follow the guidelines. He will be sentenced between 42 to 60 months by the judge. Yeah, that's what I just read, that he doesn't have to follow the guidelines. So, okay, respect your opinion. Do you think he's going to get 5 years? Y'all are wishing unaliving on somebody. Better be careful. Diddy can stay in jail. Drake's stunt double. Somebody said, all right, here we go. Somebody said, I think 3 to 5 years. Really? 1 year of time which have been served. So, okay. Okay, you guys are really thinking that he's not getting out tomorrow? Y'all don't think that Gina's letter means anything? Like nothing? That's crazy. What else? Let me get to some other questions. Trump ain't pardoning the demon. That is not what I'm hearing, by the way, FYI, but that's cool. Kenneth Howard said, keep doing your thing, Trent. Thank you. Miss JJ said, Trump said, Diddy send some not nice things. I doubt he'll pardon him. Yo, you cannot listen to what Trump says, man. Trump will tell you anything to get you off of his radar. Oh, he said some not so nice things about me. JD Vance called him way worse than anything that Diddy called him, and JD Vance is his vice president. I do not want to hear what Diddy, the not so nice things that Diddy said. Donald Trump is a deal maker. If there's something that Diddy can offer him or say that he will do for him, he will do it. All right. Puff is not going to let Puff come out and take his shine. He may pardon him last year. I guess he meant Trump. Hate, like, comment. Most importantly, subscribe to this man's channel. Thank you, Kenneth Howard. Wicked is everywhere, including this chat. Don't worry, I don't mind negative comments. Trump doesn't need Diddy to be in the media. Trump loves to be in the media, and this will really make a lot of people talk. It will make some people happy and it'll make some people upset, and this is what Trump loves. Somebody said, that's childish. Classmate said, agreed, Trent. Tracy said, he's not going to do that. Ray D said, there is no chance of him getting out tomorrow. Another person said, he doesn't go to jail. He is coming for you. If he doesn't go to jail, he's coming for me. Diddy is a narcissist and can't something. No criminal record means he will walk. That's you guys are not taking that into consideration. You guys are just thinking because the judge denied him bail and because the judge denied motion 29. First of all, motion 29 is very, very difficult to beat. From the research I've done, I think the judge has only ruled on a motion 29 one time. And kind of like when you ask for a mistrial, a lot of the times why lawyers will even try motion 29 or even try mistrial is just so that they can have grounds for appeal. And even if Diddy gets sentenced and gets sent home tomorrow, you know he's going to try for an appeal. I already told you what Diddy wants is to have a clean record. Diddy does not want to have to report to a parole officer. He doesn't want to be on probation. Obviously, ultimately, he just wants to be home. That's obviously just a given. But trust me, Diddy has enough money and enough resources that he is going to keep on going and going and going. Even if he gets let out of here tomorrow, he will keep going and keep going until his record is expunged and he has no trace of this. If you don't believe anything I'm saying, just at least you can I can guarantee you that. Somebody said you sound obnoxious. All right, thank you, Willie. Appreciate you. Tracy said exactly. He's going nowhere. Roland said, oops, what about all the silenced men and women no longer here to testify would get life? Aaliyah, Tupac, Biggie, and more. Okay, wow, you just went really back. Somebody that their name is it what it is says you aren't finished charging. What? They aren't finished charging Puff, so he ain't getting out. Okay. Chat is funny and emotional. Thomas said that. Pamela said hi. James said, why are your glasses so big? You know, it's a little bit of style. I got to change it up a little bit. Hell said, is R. Kelly giving Diddy advice? Thomas said, laugh out loud. True Crime Junkie said, you failed your bar exam, dude. Kenneth Howard said, free Diddy till it's backwards. Ray D said, under U.S. versus Booker 2004, the judge can go outside of the guidelines. Since 2024, a guideline is mandatory. Totally agree. Thomas said, haters are bored. Hold on. The judge can give 30 years if he desires. I know he can do whatever he wants, but I don't know if he can go that far. I know he can go under, but can he go over it? That's crazy. Can you imagine like he gives him life because he doesn't like him? That's crazy. I actually don't think the judge hates Diddy. Am I the only one that thinks that? Like, I really don't think that he hates him. I'm not saying that he loves him or anything, and I don't think anybody, after hearing or seeing the things that happened to Cassie, I don't think anybody is like, oh my gosh, Diddy's the most perfect guy in the world. But just remember that this is what the judge does, like, every day of his life, right? He sits down and sees criminals every day, and I think he can compartmentalize things. I really do. I'm not saying he'll let him out tomorrow, but I just would find it very hard if the judge tomorrow gives him 11 years. Like, that would be crazy. Somebody said 3 to 5. Okay, no, somebody said thumbs up, great work. Okay, this is when I was asking for great work. Diddy will go to jail. Like I said, I did 4 years in prison. I did a 4-year prison sentence, and I know how judges work. All right, Ray D. The nasty one said it's advisory until a mandatory is involved. Classy said, good job, Trent. Real facts, Bible. Trent, you the man. You're always great. Thank you very much. Good job. You will be, Rose Wright said you will be missed after tomorrow. Thank you. Thomas said, great job, Trent. Thank you. Love it. All right, this is when I was asking for a good job. Thank y'all, everybody. See, that's why I don't care about the hate in the chat. I know I got love in here, even when people don't agree with me. Somebody said, I will bet anybody out there $5,000 that Diddy will get at least 42 months at the lowest. Wow, somebody take Ray D up on that bet, y'all. Please, Ray D sounds really confident up in here, man. Bet Max says, Nova Scotia up in here. Miss Greatness says, yes, you have been working hard regardless of anything. Thank you. Thomas says, Trent Out Loud is rocking. Free Diddy tomorrow, Judge. Rose Wright said. Diddy 3 to 5. Great job. I'm really surprised that even after everything that I presented to you guys are still super confident that Diddy will get 3 to 5 years. Like, I just don't understand how somebody could be convicted of the Mann Act, man. Like, an individual, literally just for flying prostitutes across state lines, you guys feel that somebody should spend 5 years in jail for the Mann Act. That is, I cannot get my head around that, man. Like, I just cannot, man. Like, as much as you don't like Diddy, I just feel like that charge, that being guilty for transporting prostitutes from Atlanta to New York, not making any money, not laying down with them, it's not for you. I mean, it is for you. Let's not get that part twisted. It is for you, but you're not engaging with them. You're not making profit of them. It's not like you're having a massage parlor. All of that, like, and you're in jail for 3 to 5 years, man. That's crazy. That's crazy to me. Can Diddy be rehabilitated? Listen, I'm somebody who comes from the mental health space, so I think that anybody could be rehabilitated. And don't get me wrong, please, and this comment comes from Stan Komori. I have said one of the most standout lines that I heard this whole entire case is when Jane said she thinks Diddy has a war going on inside in his brain. That really stood out to me. That made me really understand the DRUGs. That really made me understand the freak offs. That made me really understand what Diddy was going through. I saw a report where I think it was his defense team was saying that This is the first time that he's ever been sober in 25 years. Diddy really was coming from a damaged place. When you hear somebody saying, "I believe that he had a war going on in his mind," that is an issue. And whether he stays in jail or not, he definitely needs therapy. He needs work. And I feel personally that everybody can rehabilitate. More importantly, you yourself, Diddy himself, needs to want rehabilitation. And I'm not in Diddy's mind. I don't know if he does. That I don't know. I would hope that after this, he would. But that's a question that only Diddy can ask. Somebody said, Diddy coming for me? Okay. Justice will prevail. When will you start talking about Tyrese Gibson? Well, Tyrese and his dog. I haven't really covered that story. I don't know. It doesn't really interest me. If you guys go check out my last show that I just did about Shaq, that might be a new case that we might cover. Shaq and Sophie Rain, all right? Michael Babel said, good reporting. Thank you very much. Rose Wright says, do you think he will be free tomorrow? I don't know, man. All the Trump stuff that I'm hearing, I don't know. I know y'all don't want to believe it. Yo, when I said stuff about Trump last November, people drag me. Oh, you think this? Your sources are wrong, blah, blah, blah. There's no way that they would even talk to Trump. And then you hear right after he gets found guilty, Nicole Westmoreland is on CNN being like, we're actively talking to Trump for a pardon. Trump wants credit, and Trump wants to deal with everything. Trump, anything that happens in the United States of America, Trump wants to be a part of it. Diddy getting off, Trump wants to be a part of it. Anything that's major like this, he wants to be the one like, yo, I came and saved you. You need me. I did this for you. Go and see the people that now are owners and that will be running and controlling the algorithm of TikTok. Do a deep dive into Trump. And Trump doesn't care if you hated him before, you didn't like him or whatever. Look at J.D. Vance. Look at half the people in his cabinet, man. They at one point were hating Trump. Remember after January the 6th? Nobody liked that guy. And anyways, I'm going to stop talking. Roland Billen said, glasses are nice. Thank you very much. Well, hey, this stupid wasp, man. Hey, get away from here. Hey, go away. Somebody said, free Diddy. Kamala Rodriguez Smith said, I agree. Another person said he finna snipe me. Why would Diddy come after me? Well, I've only been saying that I don't think that the Mann Act should. I think the Mann Act should be reworked, and I think the Mann Act should serve against men or women that have multiple people for commercial use. I don't think it should apply to somebody in their bedroom. Why would Diddy want to come after me? Thank you for always being so positive. That's Lisa Herbo. Kenneth Howard said, free that man. True Crime said, no Stan, Diddy is beyond rehabilitation. I don't think just Diddy. I think every human is able to be rehabilitated. Greatness says, Diddy needs to stay in jail if we really want to see any real change. I respect your opinion. I think so too. He probably learned a good lesson. Somebody says the chat is cooking. The chat definitely is cooking today. Facts. This guy wants to go to Diddy's welcome home party. Mario said that. That's not true. I don't want to go to Diddy's. I always tell you guys how I feel, whether you guys hate it or not. If you watch my show daily, I'm really just about telling you what the facts are. I read to you what Alexandra Shapiro said. I read to you what the Mann Act is all about. I give you guys my opinion, and then we talk about it, whether you like it or whether you're not. That is the Trent Out Loud show, okay? Ray D is very active in the chat today. The federal government will send his ASS to jail. Like I said, the people here don't know the law. U.S. versus Booker. Okay, said it again. Roblin said, so why did the other side have her... Okay, Roland, can you please rewrite that? Greatness says Gina is a weak liar. Trent said, F said Trent, listen to Ray. Thomas said, thank you, Gina, for that letter. So why did the defense bring her as? So why didn't the defense bring her as a witness? Ro Lin asked that. Why did the defense bring her as a witness? I have no idea. That's a good question. I have no idea. Like I said, I don't know if that letter is true. I don't know if it's not true. We don't know why she didn't show up or whatever. I'm not advocating for anybody. All I'm saying is that if we're told to listen to Cassie, believe Cassie, listen to Gina or whatever, then we should believe Gina as well too. And I don't know why. I'm not able to interview the defense team. I wish I could. I see them every day. They're not allowed to talk to me not allowed to talk to me about the case officially. Gina didn't testify because she doesn't want her family. Okay, I can't read that part out. Diddy won't get 11 years. I think we can all agree that 11 years. Could you at least answer that? Like, Diddy's not getting 11 years. That's crazy work. We saw the video, so we have to believe her, but get what you saying. Somebody said Diddy hate. All right, guys, I'm staying on for 2 hours, all right? So I got 23 more minutes. Put your questions, put your arguments, put your hate, whatever. I'm staying on 23 more minutes. We're giving you guys 2 hours today, yo. Ray D says, let's bet. Okay, Ray, I'm not ready. Ray D, I love your enthusiasm, and I love your opinion, and I love you're in the chat. Thank you, but we're not betting any money. If you notice, everything that I have said, I never said if you should get time or not get time or whatever. Or sorry, I didn't say the amount of time. I just said I feel, just my opinion, based on the Mann Act and the fact that he was found guilty, I feel like he should be let out. How much time he's going to get, that is up for you guys to like argue and discern in the comment section. Okay, Free Diddy, I believe he needs time, but I don't think 11 years is good. Somebody says, are you a Diddy supporter? No, I'm not a Diddy supporter, nor am I a Diddy hater. I don't keep my emotions. So let me check my battery. I'm going to switch this mic out, guys. Give me 1 second. I'm going to put my battery pack in because my thing is at 8. Hold on. Some of you like my, like no mic anyways, and you feel like it's actually louder like this. All right. Hope you guys could still hear me. And it's charging. Okay, perfect. All right, now we're going to just the phone mic. Am I a Diddy supporter? No, I'm not a Diddy supporter. I like to think of myself as somebody who's unbiased. I like to think of somebody, if you guys watched, I used to do 3 lives a day. I would do it in the morning, lunch, and at the end of trial. Some days I came out here and I was like, yo, the prosecution was crazy today. What a good job. Yo, I think Diddy might be found guilty, man. Like, yo, it's crazy what the things that they were saying. The next day I would come out here and be like, wow, Diddy's defense team was amazing. Like that's, people call me Trent Two Sides. And they say, yo, you never pick a side. You never stick on a side because it's not my job to pick a side. That's not what I'm here to do. I come to this courtroom here, not for myself. I come to this courtroom here for you. And you guys are going to see tomorrow after sentencing, I'm going to give you guys insight into what I'm seeing. This is what Diddy was wearing. This is what the judge looked like. This is what Diddy's facial expressions. This is what his family. This is what the lawyers like. I'm trying to give you guys the insight. You guys will be able to see the transcripts. You guys will be able to see things that are, written on blogs. What I'm here to do is to just give you the insight of what's going on in court and also the details of what's going on for you to make your own decision. I'm not a Diddy supporter. I'm not here like for any other reason other than for you guys. I hope that comes across. So somebody like Ray D, who's in this chat, disagreeing with me or not agreeing with things that I'm saying, that is totally fine because I'm here for that. I'm here to give you information for you to draw your own conclusion. And Ray is saying, hey, I heard your definition of the Mann Act. I heard what Alexander Shapiro said. I heard all of this. Regardless of that, yo, the judge is going to give him 4 or 5 years. And that's the type of people I like in my chat. I'm not here to tell you anything. I'm here for you to draw your own conclusion based off the information and the facts that I'm giving. And if I'm ever giving you facts that are wrong, please tell me. I'm not perfect. I'm not ChatGPT. You know what I mean? I do my research. I never try to mislead anybody, or I never try to do anything for clicks or likes or whatever. Everything is me. Like I told you, I'm doing this research and I'm giving it to you guys. Of course, I'm going to give you my opinion. This is not CNN, or I'm not a technical journalist, or a study journalist where they're here just to report the stories, right? This is YouTube. I'm going to give you my opinion, and I would love to disagree. So no, I hope that answers your question. I am not a Diddy supporter. Why did Cassie stay for 10 years? Natalie asked that. True Crime Drunkie says he is definitely a Diddy supporter, Barb. Okay, if you think so. Trent is being 100% neutral. Thank you, Pamela. Will you do anything for Diddy? Willie asked that. Aaron said, well, that's Justice in America comedy special. Hilda Smith said, Trent, I'm late coming in. What's going on? Well, you'll be able to just rewind once I end this. I think you can actually rewind while I'm even on here, so we're all good. Jenny Lev said, later to Diddy, lock up, won't let him out. Christopher said he should walk. Valerie said, do you think he will get out? Like I said, based on my information, based on my research, I think that he should get time served for violation of the Mann Act. And I also think that us as a collective should go to Congress and change the statute of limitation on DV, putting hands on somebody. If you want him to have faced sentencing for what he did to Cassie, yes, he's at fault for that, but why does the government of America put a statute of limitation on DV? There's no statute of limitation on unaliving. Why? Because that happened in 2016, should he not be able to be charged for it? It's on video. Why? But the difference is, I am not going to say that a man should sit in jail for a crime, a state crime that he did that's past the statute of limitation. Get him caught up on a trumped up charge that to me is crazy, of just transporting a prostitute from state lines, and have him be in jail for that, because I want him to be in jail for Cassie, because I understand how the law works. I respect the law, and that is not what should happen, because I would never want that to happen to me. If something I did 10 years ago that's beyond a statute of limitation, and now you catch me jaywalking and you put me in jail for 3 years, it's not for jaywalking, it's really for what I did 10 years. That is not fair. That is not fair. And that is what I see, or I feel in my heart that is happening to Diddy, and I don't think that's fair. Whether it happened to Charlie Kirk, whether it happened to Diddy, whether it happened to Trump, my emotions or how I feel about a person doesn't come into this. 2 + 2 = 4. Diddy was found guilty of the Mann Act, and I don't think he should be in jail for 11 years for flying a prostitute from Atlanta to New York. And nobody's ever going to convince me differently. We have all of these intricacies and all of these things that complicate the situation. You hear the Mann Act, you hear Cassie, you hear this, you hear that, because people talk to me about it all the time. My family calls me, friends call me, people FaceTimes, like, can you explain? There's nothing to explain. Diddy was found guilty of the Mann Act, and that is transporting a prostitute across state lines for the reasons of sex. That's it. And I don't think you should be in jail for 11 years for that. Simple. All right, let me get back to the chat. If that were true, he would have never been locked up. Barbie said that. Ray say, under the First Step Act, Diddy will get an extra 15 days a month for his sentencing for an extra year. Natalie says, Trump said they used to be friends. Sonia said, I don't support him, but with what he's charged with, I don't think 11 years is guaranteed. I agree. 33313 says, Diddy has no criminal charges. What does a person not have a criminal? Oh, sorry. I'm so far up in the chat that I can't read it because it keeps on pushing it. Sorry. Barbie says, no, nobody loves Diddy but Shrimp Gang. I don't know what that means. Kenneth Howard said, I joined your channel last when I noticed your coverage on the trial. Since I haven't missed anything, I have gone back and watched other episodes you've done in the past. Love your energy and acknowledgement. Thank you, Kenneth Howard. Appreciate you. True Crime Company said those glasses are bugging. Barbie, I don't know why Barbie is putting shrimp in the chat. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Chante Johnson said, I think 5 years would be good. Gina and Carisha are only 2 positive testimonies out of hundreds of negative ones, and many of these incidents happen before Gina and Carisha were even brought about. Just want to make something clear. There's been like 60 letters that were positive Diddy from women, people he worked with. I get the email, so there's a lot more than just 2. I don't know if you're talking about just specific women that he was with, but there has been a lot of positive letters that have been submitted to the judge, just for clarification. Diddy the monster? It looks like he is. Barbie, I don't understand what this shrimp thing is. She keeps on putting shrimp in here. Who is this shrimp at? Is this Diddy? Are you saying that Diddy is that has a shrimp? I don't get it. Sandy says, I think the government got the charges wrong because of Soul, but I think he should get 4 to 6 for the Mann Act with violence. Yes, but the Mann Act is not violence. You guys are mixing up SCX trafficking, force, fraud, and coercion. He was found not guilty, and that is a minimum of 15 years. He was found not guilty of any force, any violence. He was found guilty solely of the Mann Act. Flying or driving. If Diddy was online and met an escort and was like, yo, I'm gonna pay for your Uber from Jersey to right here on this block, that's a violation of the Mann Act. Stop complicating things. The max is 20, excuse me, the max is 20 years. Yes, the max is 20 years. 3 letters from 3 different women. Are they still in competition with Diddy? Judge hates Diddy for real. I personally don't think he hates Diddy for real, but that's fine. Miss Bartel says, TOL outshines all things on Pearl Street. Thank you. Burr, 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 burr. Respect, y'all. Somebody says, no buts. Travis Jackson said, oops. Travis Jackson said, the world is dangerous. So much hate for a man that you didn't know. Hey, I don't feel like people are wrong for hating Diddy. Please, if you take one thing into consideration, I do not disagree with people that hate Diddy. I don't. I totally get it. With the testimony, with everything that we have found out, with the video alone with Cassie, I get it. I understand it. I'm sure Diddy understands it. I'm sure Diddy's team understands it. We get that. The one thing, or the 2 things that I always say to that are, 1, you can hate somebody as much as you want, but court is court, trial is trial, and fair is fair. He beat those charges. He should be sentenced for the crime that he committed. A. And B, I would say is, do you hate Diddy based off of the things that he was found guilty of? Or do you hate Diddy because you believed everyone's testimony and you believe every single thing that you heard in those civil cases? I'm even guilty of that. When the civil cases came out and when even before the trial started, the things that we allegedly heard of Diddy were crazy. The things that were in those civil suits were crazy. However, I also understand civil suits have a much lower burden of proof. And you can say anything you want about anybody, almost anything you want about anybody in a civil case. So I have decided to put the things, sorry for this ambulance passing by. I have decided to put those things in the civil case aside. And I have decided to put the trust in the US government. Oh my gosh, this ambulance driving me crazy. I have decided to put my trust in the US government and Maureen Comey to say, You guys have no idea how loud that is right here. I have decided to say I will believe the evidence that the U.S. government provides in this case. And that's exactly why I went into this courthouse every single day, woke up at 3:30 and sat down till like 5 o'clock so that I could see the evidence presented by the U.S. government. Not what this person said or that person said in a civil case. I want to see what the government, because I trust that the government will do their due diligence, and I know they want to put Diddy in jail for the rest of his life. That's what they said. Rico, we want to put him in jail forever. So I know that the U.S. government will do whatever they could and bring whatever evidence they could find. And based on the evidence they can find was almost like 90% less of what we heard in those civil cases. So I ask you, do you hate Diddy, or are you judging Diddy based on the facts that came out of this courtroom, or are you basing it on the facts that you heard on YouTube and the facts that you heard on social media and the facts that you heard from civil cases of people trying to get money from Sean Diddy Combs? All right, let's get back to the chat. Somebody said Barbie. I really want to get to Barbie and saying narcs in the chat. What up? Trent Trump ain't for president. I hope I'm gonna get the explanation from Barbie of this shrimp. I would like to know who these shrimps are targeted at. Is that targeted at Diddy? Is this targeted at me? Queen of the South said, great job, Trent. Thank you. Travis Jackson said, get me that bet. Okay, here's Barbie. He gonna do the same ish over and over as long as men like this exist. Kong said I have to stop bending down. My back is gonna kill me. Kong said he was convicted of the Mann Act 2 counts. Yes. Barbie says, why wear a chin you got tucked? What? Why wear a chain you got tucked? I don't understand, man. What is Barbie saying? Mad scary. You're talking about my chain? Like, what are you talking about? Like, Barbie, if you're gonna have it, Barbie, I would like to have a discussion with you. If you want to have a discussion with me about facts, then fine. If you want to talk about my chain or you want to talk about something that's frivolous, then go somewhere else. If you want to have a discussion with me about something I said or about this case or whatever, no problem. You want to tell me what the shrimps are all about? Y'all know me. Like, I am here to have healthy discussions. No problem. You want to give me some facts that I might not know about, or tell me something I said that's incorrect? I'm all here for it. You want to start talking about my chain, or you want to start talking about something ridiculous? I'm sure there's another content creators page that you could go on and bother them, because that's not what we do here. All right. Somebody said life in prison for Diddy. True crime. Doesn't matter. Each count is 10 years. Each count 5 years. This is crazy. It's not crazy. It's not enough. Trent, he should go home. Liz Herbal said, Dr. Jazz Music, don't agree with you, but I don't like how the judge behaves. He doesn't seem fair and just. Hey, what's up, brother? You good?
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk to you I'm gonna be on like another 5-10 minutes. All right, appreciate you. You got me though, or what?
No.
Okay. All right.
This shit look crazy out here too.
I know. All right. While everybody is so judgmental of this man, remember, your closet is clean. Also, facts. Makes total sense. Diddy, No, he wasn't. He was, Barbie saying that he was gay. Barbie about to get blocked. What is Barbie talking about, man? Barbie saying, but hold on, if you think that Diddy was gay, okay, that's fine. Also, you're not talking about me. You can say whatever you liked about Diddy. Kenneth Howard said, why y'all worried about the man's, okay, something Herbo. Let me find some interesting. Cassie is a liar. She's also guilty. Thomas McRae said, when they let Diddy be allowed to wear a suit, he's not allowed to wear a suit, but he's allowed to wear the same thing he was wearing during trial. It will be like a cardigan, and you have like a white button down. I think some slacks and shoes with no laces. It's so cold out here. She was an unindicted co-conspirator, Cassie was. Philip said, how much time did he get? We'll find out that tomorrow. Congratulations to Cassie for snagging a big bag. Do you find somebody said this the other day where it's like, is it fair that Cassie got $20 million civil suit and then she got to testify against Diddy and he could be getting 11 years based on her testimony? And I've already explained that. That is how the US government works. You could, have somebody sign an NDA. You could pay them $100 million. If you committed a crime, you cannot have somebody not speak to the court. That's just how the law works. And I think that it's fair. I think that it's fair, and that's the risk you take when you settle with somebody in a civil trial or when you pay somebody to sign an NDA. The court supersedes that, and it makes sense. You can't tell somebody if you you know something about me unaliving somebody. Well, here's $10 and sign this paper. Oh, sorry, I can't testify to that. That would be crazy. So I get how that could seem to Diddy how it'd be unfair, but the law is set up so that when the government comes to ask you something, you got to tell them. Shane Johnson said because each charge carries 5 years, well, each charge carries at least 10 years maximum. 3 to 5 would be good because if he gets out, he's going to go to rehab or address his mental health because he still doesn't take accountability. Kenneth Howard said, hey Trent, why shouldn't Diddy wear a suit to court tomorrow? What's the significance of not wearing a suit? So, okay, I'll explain that. I explained that already, but I'll explain it again if you didn't hear it. So, first of all, this is just my opinion, my advice to Diddy, first of all. Second of all, so when you're innocent until proven guilty. So when you come to court and the jury is there and they're seeing and they're judging and deciding what the verdict would be, it's not fair to come there in a jail outfit trying to plead your innocence because the jury will see you subconsciously in your mind as a criminal already if they see you in a criminal suit, if they see you in a jail suit. So the law stipulates you to be able to present yourself in front of a jury in normal everyday clothes so that they can see you as innocent. Now, when it comes to sentencing, the jury is not there, but it's only the judge. And the judge is like a doctor or like a therapist. Like they do this every day. So a judge is a jury. A jury is a jury of your peers. They're just normal street people. It is their civic duty to come and be jurors. A judge can see the difference between you wearing a cardigan and a jail suit. Like he's not there to care about that. And I just think Diddy's whole point of trying to get bail, trying to get out on time served, trying to do Motion 29 is, Your Honor, and this is in every single attempt, he has said, Your Honor, I just want to get home to my kids. I have 7 kids to take care of. My mother is elderly. Like, I understand everything that's going on. I'm ready to be a better man. I'm ready to do all this, whatever, blah, 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 blah. He just wants to get home, right? That's what everybody would say in jail. But I just think him making a plea, because don't forget, his team has to write a letter, talk to the judge and say, my client would like to make a request. Because the jury is not there, you have to make a request to wear clothes. But I just don't think that it's smart to take up time in the judge's head while he's sitting down there saying, should I let this guy off on time served? And do I think he's been rehabilitated? Do I think that he really wants to go home to take care of his kids, take care of his mom? Oh, sir, Judge Submarinian, there's another thing that came in from Diddy. All right, what's he requesting? Yo, he wants to look nice in court? He wants to wear a cardigan in court? Why? Why? Why would you want him to be thinking about that while he's deciding if he should send you home while the government is saying, send him to jail for 11 years and 3 months. He's a bad person. He's narcissistic. He's this. He's that. He doesn't care. He only cares about himself. He's blah, 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 blah. While the government is saying all of this to you, you want to take the judge's mind off of that and be like, yo, I want to show up in a nice sweater? There is no reason for me to want to take the judge's mind off of anything else but just please send me home. Please do not listen to the government of the United States. Yes, I've done this. Yes, I've done this, but I am finished with all of that. I'm done with that life. I want to go home. Like I told you, you could bring me, Your Honor, bring me in front of you with a, I don't care what you want. You, Your Honor, decide what you want me to come in here. I am at your humble, your humble request, Your Honor. You want me to come in here standing on my head? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? There is no reason. There's no cameras. There's no pictures. Nobody will ever be able to see what he's wearing. I'm going to come out here tomorrow and describe to you what he's wearing. Why does he care? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Anyways, Judge and Moranium will not spare that man, aka Free Diddy, Free Diddy. By the way, guys, we hit the 2-hour mark. Bam, 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 bam. Let's go. All right. This chat is like really active, so I'm gonna stay on here a little bit longer. Somebody told me I was handsome. Thank you. Nicole Rodriguez said, like my mom always taught me, money talks, crap walks. Pamela said, love you, Trent, love you too. Awesome job. Tamara said, I think it ends positively for him, whether he gets time served or practically time served. He also, I believe he has a pardon on the table. See, somebody believes me he has a pardon on the table. If you do not think that Donald Trump will have some sort of play in this or want to have some sort of play in this, y'all are bugging. Trump wants his hands in everything. Whether it's to keep him there or let him out, Trump wants his hand in something. And if there's any sort of way that Trump can benefit from it, he'll be in it. Trust me on that. You don't have to explain to these dummies, these people who watch you. No, you never pick sides. Thank you very much. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, but that is Carice. I think that's how you pronounce your name. All right, who else is in there? Oh, Natasha's back. Trent, you are doing a phenomenal job, and you need to find you another NYC case to cover. Thank you, Natasha. Love y'all. See, with that blue mark beside Natasha's name, out louder, a member. Thank you, Natasha. Well, I'll definitely be back for Luigi Mangione. And like I said yesterday on a recorded show, I might go to Utah and cover Tyler Robinson, because if y'all are watching the show, I've been in touch with some of Candace Owens' people. I've been covering her a lot. They really don't believe that it was Tyler. Tyler is saying that it wasn't him. They're looking at the roommate. Even Lance's parents are saying that it might be him. There's a lot going on in that case. I think that's this Tyler Robinson, Charlie Kirk case could even be stronger and bigger than Diddy, so we'll see. Robin Wright asked if I'll be here tomorrow. Of course I'll be here tomorrow. I'm just here today really just to talk to y'all, and I was trying to talk to some people to get some inside information from you guys, for you guys. What else is going on? Somebody said, Latoya said, I'm right. Thank you, Latoya. Nicole Rodriguez says, sorry, do the crime, do the time, period. Another person said, cry hater. Hey, it looks like Barbie's not here anymore. That's a good thing, I think. Kim said, keep doing you, Trent. We are here for you. Thank you, Kim. We love the haters, out louders. Let's go. Kim, what up? Another out loud member. What up? Yeah, we love the haters, man. Keep commenting. Somebody said he should be in jail longer. Nicole Rodriguez said he should be in jail longer. The MIG96 said, not 11 years, should be 25. Crazy. Again, should it be 25 because you don't like him? Should it be 25 because of the civil trials? Or should it be 25 because he violated the Mann Act? Right. Simple. Well said, Trent. Judy Ann said that. Live in Vegas. Why is Diddy in jail? Honestly. There we go. Thomas said, good job, Trent. Thank you. Teresa Lewis said, Diddy is sick. He needs help. The streets will not help him. Justice for Cassie. Some Waterfront said Drake. Yo, Drake looks like me, all right? So will Diddy be released soon? Could be released tomorrow, man. That Gina letter is really causing a stir. Should we look into the federal government and their investigation tactics? I don't know. Somebody said Rose said fresh corn rolls. Thomas McKay said, good live. Thank you very much. Com said, that was civil. This is criminal. Two different things. Totally agree with you. 20 years at least. All right. Did somebody kick Barbie out of here, or did she just leave? Anyways, we're glad she's gone. She was hating. Michelle says, but he committed the crime and got away with it. All right, guys, should I stay on longer? Okay, I'm going to go down a little bit and skip some stuff. Free Diddy. Half of Juice says, we as humans forget that every single day we wake up, we are living in the present existence of humanity, and this ish we let them get away with will then be used against us forever. Somebody said he is gay, period. Okay. Pearl Sugar said, good glasses, by the way. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Jacques said, or Jacques, I think it's pronounced that way, sorry. You should be a lawyer. Thank you very much. Patriot Veteran said, they will put Diddy under the jail. Thomas said, I appreciate your good attitude, Trent. Thank you. Sweet T said Barbie is 100% correct. Hey, I didn't mind Barbie's opinion. I just minded that I felt like she's being a little insulting. She started talking about my chain. Trent is reporting, not your enemy, chat. Appreciate you. You feel like he should do time served because nobody takes prosecution or sex trafficking seriously. This is why trafficking and sex trafficking is one of the largest crimes in America. That is not true. That is not true. I feel like he should get time served based on the crime he was found guilty of. If he was found guilty of sex trafficking under force, fraud, and coercion, I would say I think he should get 15 years. I think the trafficking, let's not get it confused with anything else. Nobody was forced. Nobody was forced. Nobody was found guilty of force. So I know the word sounds, the sex trafficking sounds bad, but just remember what that means in layman terms is, mic is so loud. What that means in layman's terms is he is in, thank you. He's in jail for putting a prostitute in an Uber from Jersey to New York. Willing participants. They were all willing. They all testified that they were willing. You guys are making these words sound way worse than they are. Like sex trafficking, you're like, yo, this is horrible. And that is the slang term of it is horrible, but the actual true definition of just sex trafficking, like that just means that you brought somebody from state lines. When you drill down and you know that person was willing, that person was into it, that person wanted it, that person was excited to be with Cassie. Cassie liked that person, thought that they were hot, texted them, and all three of them were willing. Nobody was forced, fraud, or coerced. Then no, I don't think somebody should be in jail for 11 years for that. No. And like I said, I think the statute of limitations should be lifted off of DV, and Diddy should be on trial for what he did for Cassie in the CNN video. That is the crime. The crime is the United States government having a statute of limitation on DV. Answer me that. Somebody get that information for me. Why? If anybody who knows my history and knows my show or read my books, you know I grew up in a household like that, so I don't play with that. Why is there a statute of limitation on that? Why? Because that happened in 2016. Can they not charge him for that? And trust me, if they ever did charge him for that, I'd be at that court case and I would be outside being like, yo, give him the max. He admitted to it on tape, but he is not on trial for that. So you're not going to have me sitting out here saying he should go to jail for another crime that the government didn't charge him correctly for. I'm just not going to say that. Barbie just trolling. Somebody said Barbie just trolling at this point. Trent, you the best. Ignore the haters. Thank you, Pamela. All right. Woo. I've been on here 2 hours and 10 minutes. Okay, I'm going to scroll down. Woo. It's cold out there. I'm going to scroll down there to see the most recent comments. Somebody said, preach, Trent. Glasses are fly, though. Diddy wants to jump in the wood chipper. Somebody said, unalivers get bail. Receding hairline is wild. Does it look like my hairline is receding? Maybe that's because I'm staying like this. My hairline is not receding. Look at that. Bam. That's a funny joke though. Good question. And with no bail is insane. That's what I'm saying. Like no bail, you know. But the no bail also to be fair to the judge, the no bail was not just those charges. The no bail was also racketeering and SCX trafficking, force, fraud, and coercion. So all those together, no bail. I still think you should have gotten bail, but at least it makes a little bit more sense. Trent, can we cuddle? Sweetie said Trent, can we cuddle? Okay, Cheryl said, Fridge, what happened? Diddy got that much time? Charlene said he was not charged with SCX trafficking, free Diddy. It's illegal no matter what. Wood chipper, 20 years for Diddy. Chat, is this a real person? What's the wood chipper joke? When is CNN giving you some coverage? Thank you, Deborah. CNN, they'll be here tomorrow. Laura Coates will be here tomorrow. Judge, disregard most of the evidence in Diddy's case, scrapped the GUN numbers, etc. Kitty, that GUN thing, like, anyways, I won't get into it, but there's a reason why those weren't admitted. All right, free Diddy. All right, guys, I think I have been on here long enough, man. We did 2 hours and 12 minutes. I don't want people to see it on here and be too long and be like, whoa, this is too long, I'm not watching. Thank y'all so much. We had fun. Even the bad comments, I love it all. Like I said all the time, we welcome good, bad, in the middle. We are here to have a discussion, all right? So do not worry about negative comments in the chat. It is good. Everybody should have a right to their own opinion, and they should have a right to feel like they want Diddy to stay in jail for the rest of his life. No, I have no problems with that. Please, please, please. Kim, out louder. Sweetie, we love you, Trent. Let's go. How much time did the something get? I don't know what that is. Somebody said you're amazing. Thank you. Oh, Tez is still here. What up, Tez? Thank you, Trent. You are always fair and balanced. Thank you, Joanne, or is that Joan? Star said, let's go. Bumble club. Prep. Somebody's getting married. The courthouse is right over here. Look at all that stuff in the sky. Yeah, all right, guys. So I'm out. I'm going to go and try to get some food, get some rest. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow. Tomorrow, what time? Tomorrow, I'm going to do a live at around 7 a.m. Court tomorrow is 10 a.m. So, yeah, I'm going to do a live around 7:30-ish. Make sure I get inside that courtroom on time. And then, of course, I'll come out live after the sentencing. But, yes, we'll have one more show for you tomorrow morning, all right? Thank you so much for tuning in. Give me some bumps in the chat. Give me some Jamaican flags. Give me some flags where y'all are from. Give me some thumbs up. Let's go out with a bang. Love y'all, man. Love y'all. Connie, Renata, Sky, Kim, Pamela. Boom. Some thumbs up. Natasha. Come on, give me something in the ear so I can call you guys out before we leave. Linda's in here. Frigid Wetlands is in here. No excuses. Chef Blaze is in here. Who else? Who has some thumbs up? Who else some cheers? Tez is in here. Tez is always here. Veronica with the hearts. What up? Nicole, Jamaican flag. My aunt the other day was like, yo, can you stop with the Jacques, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Jacqu. Jacques? I don't know. I'm so bad with this. My dyslexia. Kim again with the out louder cheers. Miss J. Thompson. J. Dove. Corey with the American flags. Floyd Marshall. Vertigo Child. Chef Blaze again. Nine Ether. Bahamas. Bahamas in the building. All right, y'all. Thank you for tuning in. Don't stop. Renata, yes. Love that. Hilda, I will miss you after the sentencing. You can still watch me every day. Do not worry. What's up, guys? You want to say hi to the chat? Yeah. Where are you guys from, man? You're traveling?
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Where are you from?
In Cobble Hill.
Cobble Hill. Is that from New York?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you guys were like tourists or something, man. Yo. All right. Peace, guys.
Bye. Wait,
Bye.
how many followers do you have?
A lot. Bye, guys. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Don't forget, you can always watch me daily. Yes, I don't do lives, but you can watch me daily. We do a lot. We do not a live, but we do a tape show every day.
Sorry.
What's up?
Wait, what's your TikTok?
I'm not on TikTok. It's YouTube Trent Out Loud.
YouTube?
Trent Out Loud on YouTube.
Trent Out Loud.
Trent Out Loud. So yeah, you can follow me. Not follow me, but you can catch me every day. We do viral entertainment, political news every day on YouTube. We do our shows even on the weekends. I know you might miss the lives, but don't forget to catch me every day. Don't forget to sign up for memberships. I have the link below. Become an Out Louder. Also, you can sign up for Aura if you've ever shopped online. They could take and make sure none of your information is stolen or end up on the dark web. So there's the Out Louder membership, Aura, and always support your boy. You can watch, tune in every day. And don't forget, tomorrow we're doing a live around 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, and then a live after the sentencing. We'll find out who was right, who was wrong. Is he gonna get let out? Not. 11 years, time served. We'll see what happens. I love y'all. Make sure you go watch yesterday's episode and the other episodes on YouTube or on all podcast platforms. I love y'all, man. Peace.